In this video, let's adjust and open the eyelids. So first of all, let's disable the random color, click on material, and we have a little problem here with the eyelids. You can see here, we can see into the head, and then we see that there's no brain, and we are working on a stupid little creature. Just kidding. Of course, we want to fix this issue here, and then we want to create a shape key to open up the eyelids. So first of all, this issue here we want to fix in edit mode. However, if I switch over to edit mode, the multiverse modifier can't be displayed in edit mode. So this will be disabled. However, we can add a subsurf modifier, and let's enable this button here. Then we have a similar result as when using the multiverse modifier, so we can see how the mesh looks like when this is smoothed. Then whenever we want to change anything on one side, this also should be reflected on the other side. So let's enable X symmetry here in edit mode. And since this is an organic shape we want to change, let's also enable proportional editing. That means if I select anything here, press G, we have this circle around the selection and there's a smooth fall off to the other geometry. And when I'm scrolling the mouse wheel or press page up and down, we can change the radius here. Let's go to edge selection. Let's have a look from the front here. Let's select this edge, press G and move it over to the side until it's hitting the eye here. Then let's select this one here. Let's have a look. Here we have the same problem. Let's move this in a bit and let's also check the eyelid up here. Similar problem, and also down here. So, and with X symmetry, you can see the fix was also done on the other side here. Very nice. So as you maybe remember, we created the eyelids to be able to open and close the eyes later on. Of course, not as an animation in our case, but just if we want to create different poses of this creature, different static poses with either the eyes open or closed. I think in most cases we will have the eyes open, so let's create one default eyes open pose here. Let's disable the subsurf modifier here. Let's go back to object mode, right click and click on shade flat so that we can see each and every face, which I find a bit better to work accurately here on the mesh. And then let's go over to the object data tab, shape keys. Let's create one basic shape key which stores the basic shape we have here, and then let's create a new one which we call eyes open. The shape key now stores all the deformation we are doing in edit mode, and that's the good thing here. We can change the underlying geometry and then all the multiverse modifier details will be added on top. So let's go to edit mode. Make sure that X symmetry is still enabled, and then for now let's quickly disable the proportional editing, and with Control I select this loop here, press double G and slide this to the top, something like this. Let's do something similar with this loop here, and also down here let's do the same. And make sure when you want to edit the eyes open shape key that this one here is selected. Then same over here, double G, slide this down. And now with the shortcut O, let's re-enable proportional editing up here. And now let's adjust this shape here. Keep in mind, if I hit slash on the numpad, that we also have this part here from the inside. So we have to make sure when we are moving this around that we also select the inner part. Otherwise it can happen that something like this happens. So make sure that this here is selected. Let's hit slash once again. Let's move this up with a smaller radius and let's keep it relatively close to the eyes. And let's undo this one more time. There is another useful option. Let's click here and click on connected only. Then we will only deform the geometry which is directly connected to the selected edges in this case. So let's move this up. Then let's press Alt Z, make sure that this edge here is selected, and then with Shift let's select this one here and carefully move this up. And if something like this happens here, let's enable X-ray, then we can also fix this afterwards. So maybe let's maybe fix this afterwards. Let's grab these here for now so everything goes a bit quicker. Move this up, same up here. And by the way, in this case, it might be useful to switch over to the sculpting workspace. But here again, let's switch to edit mode, just so that we have the reference over here, which might be helpful in this situation to shape the open eyes a bit more like here on the concept. So, but for now, let's first make sure that we are opening up the eyes in general. We can also enable the subsurf modifier just to see if everything looks good here. However, for the fine tune, it's good to disable this. Then let's do a similar thing down here. Let's move this down. Now let's use the vertex selection and just make sure that this doesn't look too wonky here. So let's grab some of these and make sure that this looks nice and smooth. So let's go back to object mode, and now you can see when I switch back to object mode, the eye closes again. Let's go to the shape keys down here, and you can see that this value is set to 0. When I switch to edit mode, this becomes unselectable, so this will be ignored. However, in object mode or in sculpt mode, we have to adjust this. And you can see here we now could animate this. However, we just want to open this up, so make sure that the value is set to 1. Let's re-enable the subsurf modifier and let's have a quick look here. Maybe up here we can move this a bit more to the top. Here on the top it's a bit longer, as you can see. Yeah, but I think this looks good. Now let's hit slash on the numpad and let's have a look into the inside and just see if everything is okay here. Make a very small radius and just move this a bit to the inside here, that there's no weird overlapping. Let's make sure that this also looks good when the subsurf modifier is disabled. But yeah, this I think looks quite okay. Maybe over here we can move it a bit more in this direction. Let's hit slash on the numpad once again. Let's check one more time if we can't see into the empty head here. Over here we should definitely move it a bit closer to the eyes. The rest looks good. So now let's disable the subsurf modifier, then re-enable the multi-res modifier, and then you can see this looks a bit weird. And this we, of course, need to fix. So since we are adding the multi-res details on top, this will always look a bit weird when you are closing or opening the eyes. That means each time you would do this for a new static pose, you have to sculpt over the eyelids one more time to clean this up. So first of all, let's hold down Shift and very carefully smooth this area around here. If this is too strong, you can also go to the smooth modifier and change the strength here, because even when you're holding down Shift, when a different sculpt brush is selected, it will still use the strength from the smooth brush. So first of all, smooth this out. Then I would use the inflate deflate brush to thicken some of these areas again. And if you feel that, like, in some areas this is too close to the eye here, let's use the grab brush, make it a bit bigger and pull this out. Now with the grab brush still selected, let's change the fall off to sharp. And then let's quickly switch to edit mode. Here we have the corner of the eye. That means let's add a smaller pointy edge here. We can also see it over here, and also make sure that we don't pull it out too much. Something like this, and the same on the other side here. Let's check somewhere around here. And then let's switch the fall off back to smooth and move this in here a bit. Something like this. Then let's take the draw sharp brush and carefully draw a sharper line around here. Maybe one over here as well. As you can see here, we have the skin of the eyelid basically. And with the inverted one, let's also pull this out here a bit more, not too much. And a similar thing down here, as you can see. Let's draw a sharper line over here, one more here, and then let's pull this out a bit. Maybe here as well. And if you like, smooth this out again carefully. Yeah. Then back in object mode, right click, click on shade smooth, and this is how the eye looks now. Maybe we can tweak this area up here a bit more. And push this in here a bit more. And yeah, that should it be with the eyelids. And in the next video, let's care about the mouse. And as always, don't forget to save.